It's so early after hours. So, this is your boy, Real Bitcoin Dog, BTC Woof Woof here with the Aardvark. Oh, or I don't know what noise Aardvark makes.
I think they like maybe chitter like a beetle. I have no idea.
Let me hear it. I want to hear it.
I I don't know. Is
Uh,
that it?
That's it. So we just recorded our official podcast, but obviously, sometimes it's just the after hours banter that's like the most funny anyway. I mean, is that Cuban car? They'll like have their top five stack of news stories, but then the riffing, maybe that's what people love the most. So, um, yeah, I mean, obviously, my natural self, I'm still going to shill the Bitcoin dog, following sent to Bitcoin C++ source code. I can't believe it. Gray Ruby and I don't know if actually and Siggy 47, they both bought it. Simple Stacker got the 21 Futures book, which is also what Coob got also. So 10% off Bitcoin Dog. But um, yeah, no, we're in a race against time. I just checked on my kids. They're still asleep, which is great. So it's just as soon as one of them starts crying, that's what it is. And yeah, I'm a single dad
Is
this weekend. Can you hear me?
yeah, is 21 Futures, is that like book one?
So 21 Futures is an anthology.
Hmm.
Are you talking about like books I wrote or like the
No,
anthology?
like I don't know if there's like more than one of those. I was briefly on your site and I didn't know if there was like a.
So this is 21 Futures Tales from the Time Chain.
Mhm.
This was the first volume, and this was Philip Charter's brainchild. He went to Consensus Network publisher Nico Laamanen, Omnifin, and had this idea to make a short story fiction anthology because Philip himself is a short story writer. And yeah, they put out a call for submissions, and that was the first one. And it was successful, or at least successful enough to do a second call for 21 Futures Financial Fallout. But yeah, it's like a contest, a writing contest to get in. So, and then for me, like I'm a big fan of just community. So as much as I enjoy writing the short story, I enjoy like being like with these other 21 authors too. So I don't know if we'll ever be together in the same room. Actually, we probably won't because some of them are anonymous. Um, Cetillionaire is probably our most famous anonymous writer, where Cetillionaire uh, used to be what he's revealed about himself is that he used to be a Hollywood producer, like a big time Hollywood media movie producer, and he has earned an Academy Award before for his work. So that doesn't filter down that much, like which one is he? But since getting into Bitcoin, he just clashes too much with people in Hollywood. But he's made all our promo trailers and promo videos and is using AI for everything, and I mean, and his own talent, of course. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm anticipating there being a third 21 Futures volume, and I never used to be a writer before Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is what got me into like actually writing. So just had to express myself and do it through writing. That was my way.
I think there's enough information to figure out who he is. I'll just start asking all of the Hollywood producers that I know, and one of them is going to have to know somewhat like who talked about Bitcoin so much that they just disappeared. Just I'll just beat around some bushes and kick over some stones and we'll figure it out. It shouldn't be that hard.
I mean, come on, it's got to be somewhere. But who's the quiet person crazy about Bitcoin? Who's like the person who's like totally down the rabbit hole? Like, is it constantly talking their head off about Bitcoin?
It's
So,
it's hard not to talk about it sometimes. Like I try not to bug people about it, but like there's always so much news. So there's exciting stuff that happens like all the time. So it's you see something, you're like, oh my God, I just want to tell someone about this.
yeah, I mean, again, that's like, what's the thing that has all of us in common for people at Bitcoin versus the dollar? And it's like, we see a problem, we want to solve a problem, we want to address a problem, we tackle a problem, and there's so many different ways to approach Bitcoin from like privacy or like freedom or advocacy or just like control. I don't know. There's so many different, other than number go up. Like, so it's just what's your thing that you want? Like, what's the angle that like resonates, with you in particular about Bitcoin. So if you see someone, especially I find when I talk to people who are really into gold, and I'm like, you're someone who owns physical gold bars, like that's exactly the one for the digital gold. And but they have to come to it on their own just because I tell them. Certainly not my family and friends, right? But coworkers or something, then I have a chance.
Yeah, a couple of my family. Well, my dad has some Bitcoin, and my mom has a very small amount of Bitcoin. But I think it's better than nothing. But like with my dad, I was like, I mean, it's if you think about it, it's really gold before anyone knew what gold was. That's like how I kind of explained it to him. Like it's just it does everything the gold does, but better. And it feels like no one even knows about it yet. And it's like people are going to figure it out. Like it's
And he
I
actually
don't.
like listened to you, like respect you, value your
Oh, sure,
opinion.
sure.
So like you got it first and then you told him and then he did it. So
Yeah, me and my dad are pretty close. Like when I was working out, I was going to the gym at like 5 a.m. This guy's like late 60s at the time, up into his 70s. He was showing up 2 3 times a week, 5 a.m. going to the gym with me. So we like kind of talk, and I'd get him. He's bench pressing and stuff like that. It was fun. It was a
who's
good
your
time.
dad?
Yeah, yeah,
Just also going to the gym with you at five
yeah,
in the morning.
yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, that's pretty special that your gym partner is like your own dad. So,
Yeah. He doesn't
um,
he doesn't go anymore ever since I kinda created my home gym situation, because I kinda do it at a different time
well,
now,
you
but
didn't even start until 5 years ago lifting.
yeah.
So, and he is lifting for his whole life, and you were just ignoring it.
Yeah, I think my dad's happy that I finally like, his son finally got into something physical. He used to run triathletes, he's wrestled in high school, he's always big on sports, always very
Uh,
active, and then he gets like my older brother at least was into like, sports and fishing and camping and stuff, but I just wanted nothing to do with any of it. I think it's pretty disappointing for him to have that son.
well, so it's just you and your brother then, the two of you, or
I have a little sister too. Older brother, little sister. I am the middle child.
the most loved then.
That's I don't think the saying, but we can go with that.
Yeah, well, my wife and I have two kids right now, and I've written about them on Stack of News before, and definitely that's the talk of, whether or not we're gonna have a third kid. And you don't have any kids, right?
No,
So
no kids, no kids.
Okay. But definitely like having the third kid, it's like self-inflicted pain or self-inflicted wounds, I guess. I don't know. Like for me personally, like I love chaos. Like I crave chaos. I like stress in my life, I guess, because that's the thing is like today, Sunday, like it's enough for me to take care of both our kids, our 2-year-old and 6 month old while she's out of town. But to be like, so let me see if I can coordinate with Aardvark to also record a podcast like at the same time. That's just like, but I'm appreciative for you being so like relaxed and still able to get your meal prep in. But yeah, so to have a third kid is like on the one hand it interests me, but on the other this like miracle that I could get them both to fall asleep at the same time for a nap and record. With 3 kids, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd have that. So when they say kids are a sacrifice, I'm like, you know, that would be it basically. But who do I love more? My own children or recording with the aardvark? So
I mean, there's only one, the aardvark. You have
who's
two
invented
kids.
milk?
Yeah,
Yeah. I have 2 kids. It's cool.
it's just
Easy.
math. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have a third, you should probably name them something like aardvark related. Like a boy, you could just call like Vark. No one's gonna know.
Vark.
Like a girl, I guess Ardrina. Would that work? Yeah.
Yeah, better than naming him Satoshi. So,
Ugh,
um,
I, you say that and like that immediately clicked that I'm sure there's a lot of kids named Satoshi now, and that kind of hurts my soul a little bit.
literally named Satoshi. So,
Yeah. Like
yeah,
after the Satoshi, right?
yeah, well, for me, so I put it on my first book. I mean, I didn't think I'd blow up to massive internet fame, but I'm actually William Shelkoff the fourth. It's not the screen is not mirrored, but yeah. So we're recording on video for anyone who wants to watch on YouTube instead of just a fountain. But yeah, so my son is William Shelkoff the fifth. So we'll see what he has to live up to. But on Satoshi's journal, I published an article talking about called Daddy, Where's My Piggy Bank? Because I imagine my kids like what am I gonna walk to a Wells Fargo branch when they're 13 or a Chase branch when they're 16 and like open a retail bank account for them? Like there's no way. There's no way. By the
Yeah.
time they're ready to save their wealth, or allowance or whatever, it'll just be opening a Bitcoin wallet. Like what do I even need to make a bank account for?
Yeah, that's one thing that like having kids, like being in this era right now, having kids must be kind of a little bit more difficult. There's just so much going on. Like I can't imagine raising kids now. And on top of that, we're kind of the forerunners of this whole new financial system, right? And it's a
It's our
kind of yeah,
responsibility.
yeah. Like I'm having a hard enough time making like my wife understand like the steps that she's going to have to take if I pass away. You know what I mean? I'm doing my best, but it's like it's not like I'm gonna write this stuff down in like a word pad or something. Like I don't want anything that I write at all having anything to
Has
do with
has she
anything done
ever
digitally.
has she ever held one of your hardware wallets in her hands?
Yes.
She has.
Um,
She actually held it
yes,
in her hands.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Um, but I would be shocked if she knew what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just giving up. I'm just like, well, and so I used to have Unchained Capital, where I paid for Unchained Capital
Hmm.
collaborative custody multi-sig, and that was one of the things they're like so happy about because they're like, yeah, so then you put just in your trust or will, like, go work with Unchained Capital, and they'll have you all sorted. But then they added a $250 a year account fee, and my wife was like, I'm not willing to pay, $250 a year to safeguard our 100 trillion dollars worth of wealth. So I'm like, okay, I'll just roll my own multi-sig. And I think I talked about it on Slacker News and wrote about it, but that was a wild experience to like do it myself, a 2 out of 3 multi-sig. Um, but yeah, I have enough written down. That's just if she gives it to someone that knows Bitcoin.
Yeah,
But the idea too is, I don't know. Hopefully, I never die. But like you
yeah.
said, both of us, our plan is to just never die. Obviously, we
Yeah,
will be immortal, just like the Ask SN community and health and fitness community. But
that
it'll
is
be
the
like
plan. It
someone.
seems like a good plan. Just
It's a
don't
great
die.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. So come on. And that's how your point of like fitness is like, I could, I'm not going to die either way, but do I want to be like a 300-pound guy not dying, or do I want to be like in shape? And that was the thing when I was at college at UCLA, like I took a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class and it was like wild because in college I was in really good shape. But it was like I was able to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class like for fun. Like in my past life, I just count that as my exercise. Like that's my exercise for the day. But like when you're actually in shape, like it opens up fun opportunities to do cool things with your body, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So
Yeah, I'm actually I'm on Unchained right now just for a portion of my stack. I don't know if I don't know if I can even take it off there or not because I made a post also on Stacker. I rolled my 401k into a IRA on Unchained, and you can get directly right into Bitcoin. So I didn't have to pay any penalties or any tax crap. I just had the 401k rolled over right there and just click buy straight Bitcoin exposure. But I don't know if there's any sort of tax implications from moving it from that wallet and just getting rid of them, or I got a year to figure out before they charge me 250. So
so what I did is well, I mean, wait. Okay. So do you own any Bitcoin though? Like outside of your Unchained
yes,
Capital Roth IRA?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So I have my own I started buying Bitcoin like I said a year ago, and I rolled over my 401k probably like a month ago. Um, And like I said, if you cash out a 401k, you just get wrecked, right? You have to pay 10% off the top plus capital gains taxes, just all sorts of stuff. But if you roll it over into an IRA, you don't pay any penalties, no capital gains. It just goes over there. So that's what I did. Unchained gives you just Bitcoin as an IRA.
so what I did is River is the Bitcoin exchange I recommend these days. I've actually made quite a bit of Bitcoin through referral codes through River. I'm not an affiliate of River, but I've had great experience with them, and they're the ones I recommend now. But with Bitcoin I bought through River, that I self-custodied with my hardware wallet. Then I opened a 203 multi-sig vault with Unchained Capital,
Hmm.
and I sent that Bitcoin to this new 203 vault. So there's no tax hit or tax implications there or anything. That's just my after-tax Bitcoin that I just own. And then they were helping me custody in a 203 collaborative custody multi-sig. So you're absolutely right to be worried to take any of your Bitcoin out of your Unchained Capital IRA because like that's a special account that you
Yeah.
own for the sake of tax benefits.
Yeah, it's a tax
So
advantaged account.
yeah,
So
right.
I think I'm going to be stuck paying the 250 a year, and I think it's going to yield a lot more than my 401k would plus 250 bucks.
Yeah.
So
But you
I just yeah.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, the other option that you had, of course, was to buy FBTC, the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF in your
Hmm.
401k and just
Yeah.
leave it there and pay Fidelity's 0.39% expense ratio and hope that, Fidelity actually like owns the Bitcoin that your ETF shares say they own. So,
I didn't have that option in my 401k. I That was the first thing I looked at, and then my company got bought, and that's why I had that's why I ended up rolling over because I had to roll over to the new company or
mhm.
whatever anyhow. But they didn't have any Bitcoin ETFs, so I was like, okay, well, what's
And
the other option?
and your wife loves because Unchained is all or nothing. So your wife loves this that your entire 401k retirement is now Bitcoin.
There wasn't much.
What
I
was
haven't
it much? There wasn't much in the
no,
401k.
I didn't start my 401k that much before I got
Hold on, because I
into
know you're late to
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. I mean, not
Oh
late,
yeah.
it's so early,
Oh,
but you're late to the
I
401k. You're
yes.
43. Come on,
Yeah,
Aardvark.
no, dude,
This plan to live forever is not going well.
well, why do you need money to retire if you're gonna live forever? You ever think
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. You could just
Yeah,
be the poor person, just roaming the
yeah.
streets. I'm
No,
alive.
you would
I'm
think a
alive.
43-year-old would have a significant amount of money in their 401k. I had money in my 401k, but not
Did your company do the mandatory 2% contribution that like is the default that like did they at least do that for you? No, normally they try to do
so
something.
I was putting in 9% and they were matching 2%.
Oh, that
Uh,
sounds good. That makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And then the new company, which I might be quitting this company that bought us. They just sent out a message last week sucked. I just found out that my 22 days of PTO is going down to 15. So they just slashed 7 days off of my every year for vacation. It's
You
just
think that's your PTO? You think that's your PTO in your
no,
time
no,
card? That's an
you don't.
IOU, man. You got to hold your PTO. If you don't hold it, they'll
I
just take it
know,
away. That
I know.
so I know for Vitalik Buterin, his story of making Ethereum was just getting nerfed in World of Warcraft, and he just hated Blizzard so much he made the second greatest cryptocurrency of all time. There is no second best though. It's just Bitcoin. But for me personally, it was Domino's Pizza because I was like buying Domino's Pizza because I love cardboard crust, and they had the Domino's rewards, and I had all these points and rewards. Not like that much, I don't know, whatever, maybe a lot. And Domino's just nerfed their whole rewards point system, and I was just like, oh. Like those are my Domino's rewards points. Like now, how am I gonna afford the Cinesticks? Like, oh my God. And yeah, from then on I'm not gonna say that's my Bitcoin moment, obviously, but um, that's the rug pull. Your PTO is a much more serious, much more significant thing. But these are the principles we're talking about, right? Where like you think it's yours, you think you own it, you think you have rights to it, and then they're like, nope.
Yeah, you just get everything. Just you get the best the best lesson we're learning from crypto and meme tokens is that everything can get rugged. You know what I mean? Everything can get. pulled right from under you. You don't really own much in this world right now. You own Bitcoin.
Well, and so that's where with Stacker News, like I was like so excited about it being open source, of course, because it's like, and then I've done nothing with it, which is very sad, pathetic. Like, that was what hooked me. It was like, oh my God, like the whole website's open source. Obviously, the layout is trash. Like, it's very basic, it's very bare bones. Like, you have to be a full-blown Bitcoin person to get past how generic the web page looks and stuff. Because the what keeps Stacker News great is the content, right? But I mean, it doesn't have any flashy graphics or any sort of like fancy things. Obviously the interface works for you and I, like it works. But the open sourceness like really got me like, wow, like all of the code for the GitHub to render the site like is all here. Because I had published two websites through GitHub code for Bitcoin Dog and Bitcoin Girl Save the World, where I had all the chapters of my book, all the code on GitHub, and then I used Netlify and it would just render the website. It was amazing, but that's just the code. So like as a joke, like for fun for me is like I could fork my own Stacker News. I could take all of Kube and EK's hard work, their entire Git repo for Stacker News, and just take it and fork it, which is like something I said back in October when I joined Stacker News, and like roll my own Stacker News. And then like that was the ultimate metaphor for Bitcoin because it's the exact same thing. Like I could copy all of the code of Stacker News, but I can't copy people wanting to use my site and write posts or comments on my site. And the one thing that's still tough for Stacker News is still got to be some centralized server to host all the databases of all the content and a centralized server to display the web pages. So, like, it really is the case. Like every single item number for every post or every media or every picture, it's like, their database or server is hosting it, and then their server is populating the page. So, Kube is like, oh, of course, he's told me before. He's like, of course, I'm interested in decentralizing, having other people help host the website. I'll worry about it later, how I still make money off of my company, but I'm interested in having people host it. But the challenge, of course, is like I'm just trying to not get shut down and not custody any Bitcoin, which he finally did with the switch to Cowboy credits. So.
Yeah, I wonder how you would do that. How you decentralize that? I mean, I guess I don't know if you would basically, I don't know, allow everyone to download that database, and then part of, I guess you could use like part of the rewards is like how often someone's pulling from you, how often you're uploading. Maybe that would
Come
be
on, Aardvark, you already know the answer.
I have no idea what the answer is, man.
It's Noster.
I've been on Noster for like 2 seconds.
The truth, yeah. If you're listening only, I just stabbed myself in the chest and died. Well, so the reason I joined Noster is because if I'm going to be an influencer who just shills stuff all the time, like even my shirt "Fix the Money, Fix the World" is a shirt I won for free from Proof of Ink through like a giveaway. Um, every time everyone says we're leaving Twitter or we're leaving X and we're going to Noster, which it sounds like you never spent much time on Twitter or X anyway. You were more of a Reddit
No,
guy. And
yeah.
even then, it sounds like you did post on Reddit though. You weren't just a lurker, like you were actually posting, or
Oh yeah, I was just in there talking shit. Like is the amount of
were you the adversarial one talking trash to every single person and
of
not fostering a
course.
sense of community? So,
Oh
so
yeah,
the
I
people
was
you hated the
definitely
most, do you
I was
know, do
definitely
you,
someone you would hate. A
do you
lot of
know what
people would
I'm, do you know what the title of my third novel is going to be?
hate. What's that?
Bitcoin Bully. It's going to be Bitcoin Bully, Have Fun Staying Poor. That's it. That's the name of the book. It's basically a story about you, Aardvark, trolling Reddit as a Bitcoin
I
bully,
mean,
just
I
being
wasn't I
mean.
wasn't I wasn't always adversarial, but there's that's just the environment though. Like people are just at each other's throats really quick there. It's just kind of when you spend a significant amount of time there. Like when I first came to
Snowflake,
Stacker News, yeah,
soft.
yeah, I was ready to like get into arguments with people like immediately when I got to Stacker.
How quickly you find Darthcoin.
He was the actual first person I got into it with. Um, I didn't know who he was, and I believe I called him a snowflake because
So
he
it
was
was immediate.
yeah, it was very quickly because well he was basically trying to say that we're all slaves, and he posted this video of some guy defining like, does the word slavery trigger you, and he's talking about like the speed limits are a form of slavery, and I was like, bro, if you think speed limits are a form of slavery, you are just an absolute snowflake. um and then like right after that, and he just ignored me. He didn't even say
Uh,
anything back, but like very shortly after that I was like, maybe I shouldn't get into it with this community. Like maybe I should like take a step back and just like not assume that everyone's like out to get me here, and just like kind of chill. But yeah, that was like that could have definitely turned out worse for me, I'm sure.
It's definitely tough when like the first person you encounter on the site is Darth Quinn. Gray Ruby also said that Darth Quinn was one of his first encounters, and he called him a shit coiner just right away. Like Gray Ruby's like, I'm Bitcoin only, but I guess you can call me a shit coiner if you want. And I went to this peer-to-peer Bitcoin festival in Santa Monica last year, and I saw a guy in real life say like I talked to him about Slacker News. I was talking to everybody, like, are you guys on Slacker News? And this one guy's like, I used to be on it, but like, man, is Darth Coin still there? Like, that guy's just the worst. I was like, oh, that's not good. I think Darth Coin definitely still adds to the community more than he
Yeah.
hurts, but it definitely helps like filter out. I mean, and for me personally though, I never run into him ever anymore. Like I used to tag him all the time and stuff, but now like unless I'm posting mafia movies on the movies territory, which he clearly likes, Sopranos, Peaky Blinders, Penguin, like he likes these things. But otherwise, like yeah, I just stay in my lane, stack of sports, health and fitness. He's not in those. He's not in stack of sports or
Yeah.
health and fitness.
He was very recently, he started getting on my ass because I've been welcoming everyone who joins. I just copy paste a, hey, welcome to Stacker News. Read the fact.
Ask us
Don't
then.
for Yeah, don't no, I don't even post that. I say remember to a little link. Remember to hook up a wallet. Link your wallet to get Sats, right? With a little link to the wallet guide. Like I just everyone that joins, I'm like, welcome. Hook up your wallet.
YouTube doesn't even pay
Have
you to
fun.
do that. He
No,
doesn't
I
pay you to
just
do that.
no, I just do that. But then apparently I've been welcoming shitcoiners, according to Darth, and he's been like getting on my ass lately. Now he thinks that I'm Coins Reporter, that me and Coins Reporter are the same person. His gut told him, and I'm up to
You
some sneaky shitcoining scheme. I don't know what I would benefit from being both of us, but that's his stance right now. That me and Coins Reporter are
know.
the ass milker with many mouths.
It is interesting that there are people with multiple accounts though. It's just not my style. And for Gray Ruby and Undisciplined, they also just like don't care because they're just grateful if people want to use the site. And it's like that's part of the site's like privacy focus. But I'll say for myself, like I definitely know Coins Reporter has multiple accounts on the site because he's sent me sats before, but then it was like a different nim from Stacker News that sent it, and he said sent, and I'm like, oh, you didn't change whatever account before you sent me Sats, so, um, but I'm not trying to call him out. It's just like a thing, and then like Desert Dave also had a couple Nims and stuff. So I mean, it just seems stressful for me to manage all of these, and then that's where it's like Darth does it too, his
I
multiple
have
ones.
I have a second account that I used a couple times named Bardvark. I made like two or three
So that
comments
was
as
you that made
yeah, that was
Bardvark.
yeah,
We
I
all
did a
noticed
couple
that.
yeah, I did a couple Bardvarks, and I'm like, this is too much of a hassle to be funny. I was gonna do the whole thing where I was just gonna pop in and troll myself for like a year and not say anything, but
You
I was
did
like,
troll yourself a little.
a little bit, but I was
It's
like,
just funny. You're like
yeah.
faking. You have to make your own trolls. How sad is this? You gotta make your, you don't
I
just
just
have
thought,
trolls.
well, I was gonna troll myself in a very like just a terrible way, not like real trolling, just like very, very, very stupid and childish, like where it's like someone who's maybe trying to troll but is just terrible at it. And I was just gonna like do that for like a year straight. And I was just gonna deny. But then I was like, you know what? I'm already spending too much time on this site as it is. Like, I spend usually a lot of time there because it's really fun. I enjoy it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and be Aardvark and Bardvark. I don't know who has the time to.
I don't know
run?
about. So I personally am not a Noster fanatic. There's definitely
Mhm.
people on Stacker News that love Noster. I mean, again, the reason I like Noster is that idea of being like decentralized and can't be censored. But like Elon says all the time, like just because you can't be censored doesn't mean your content's good. Like I still want good content. Like you have the right to say whatever you want, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna want to listen. So, but Noster, uh, notes or short text relays, notes or other short text relays, I think is what it stands for. But it's just like Bitcoin, where the Bitcoin blockchain, the way they solve it is like everybody has a copy of the entire blockchain. Like everybody's got their own server with an entire copy of. Oh, I'm hearing a baby cry. And so Nostr is like you have these relays where these centralized relays will host all of the content, so it pulls. I use the app Primal, and I would recommend that you get the app Primal too, because Primal works really well on iPhone, and it comes with a wallet, so you get the zaps and stuff. And that's how I joined Stacker News. Was there was football survivor pool where I won 200,000 sats. I beat Gray Ruby. Suck it, Gray Ruby, I crushed you. And Gray Ruby was like, "Well, you made me feel horrible, real Bitcoin dog, but can I give you another 1,000 sats anyway, just so you joined Stacker News?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll keep taking your money." Uh, and here we are. So I just love this idea of like we came for the Bitcoin, but we stay because we're talking about weightlifting, we're talking about whatever. So I heard a baby cry, which that's my signal. Time to go and end this after hours backstage behind the scenes chat. But yeah, it's been great recording with you, talking to you, finding this time. We've been talking about this for months. Being able to do this, we'll find out which episodes the community likes more. And by community, I just mean undisciplined Gray Ruby. We'll see who else listens, but they're just obsessed with all this stuff. But I think we did more laughing in this video, so I like laughing. So, oh, all right. Uh, it's so early.
So early, man.
Yeah. Last word for you or no?
No, that's it. It's so early.
It's so early. All right. Like,
All right.